All right, so now I'm going to talk about applying right triangle trig to real life problems. So let's say that we have a tree. Here's my tree. And we have somebody standing right over here, and they want to know how tall the tree is. But of course, they can't measure how tall the tree is because it's really tall. So they're going to use a special tool that's going to tell them how big this angle of elevation is. And just so you know, that tool does exist. And when they hold that tool and they look up to the top of the tree, that angle is 71.5 degrees. So they know how high they're looking up. They also had their friend go along and measure how far they are from the tree. And their friend told them that they were standing 50 feet away. So I've created a triangle here, but I'm looking for the height of this triangle. So what do I know? Well, I know the angle of 71.5. I know the opposite side, and I know the adjacent side. Opposite and adjacent, opposite and adjacent. So I have to ask myself, which of my three trig functions, sine, cosine, or tangent, uses the opposite and the adjacent? Well, sine from SOHCAHTOA is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So this is the one I'm going to use. So I'm going to do the tangent of 71.5 degrees equals my opposite, which in this example is x, right? That's the opposite, and 50 feet. And I need to solve for the x. So first I'm going to multiply, I'm going to get x by itself. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 50. So now I know that 50 times the tangent of 71.5 is equal to x. And when I put that in my calculator, I need to make sure that my calculator mode is in degrees, right? Because this measurement is in degrees, so I need to make sure that my calculator knows that I'm giving it a degree measurement. And I hit 50 times the tangent of 71.5 degrees. And I find out that that's 149.4 feet equals x. That's how I use my trig functions to solve for an unknown angle in a real life application. Let's do another one. I have this beautiful river, and there's grass all over here. And a person is 200 yards from the river. So here's my person. And I'm 200 yards from the river. Instead of walking to the river, I'm going to walk 400 yards along a straight path to the river's edge. So here I go. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to walk over to here, and I'm walking 400 yards. I want to find the angle of the path that I just walked to the river's edge. So what is this theta right here? That's my question. Well, this made a right triangle, didn't it? So again, if I want to find that angle, I know the opposite and the hypotenuse. So which of my trig functions relates opposite over hypotenuse? And if you guessed sine, you're right. So I know that the sine of an angle creates an opposite over hypotenuse ratio, and in this case it's 200 yards over 400 yards. Now, because I'm looking for the angle measurement, I need to do something different on my calculator, because when I hit the sine button on my calculator, it automatically, the calculator is programmed to think that I'm going to give it an angle measure. Okay? And that's what my calculator is programmed to do. But I don't know the angle measure. I want to find the angle measure. So I have to tell my calculator, hey calculator, I'm not going to give you the angle, I'm actually going to give you the ratio. Can you give me the angle? So I'm going to hit second sine. And what happens when I hit second sine is that it engages the inverse sine function. So I'm going to say that to please tell me what the angle is by telling the calculator that I'm giving it the ratio, and I want the calculator to give me the angle measurement. So I hit second sine, or the inverse sine of 200 divided by 400, and the calculator will tell me, hey, that angle, it's not going to give me the theta symbol, but it will tell me that it's 30 degrees as long as I'm in the mode of degrees, because I want to know my angle in degrees. All right, so that's how you use those trig functions to solve right triangle trig problems.